Welcome to Road Adventures of Cycling Men of Leisure. I am Adam, and once again, in human format, I am being joined by my good friend, all the way from Eastern Time Zone, Mr. Michael Sharp. Hello, sir.
Hello, how are you?
Oh my gosh. It is a magical time here. We are still in Florida.
Yes.
We're going to give a little listener spotlight. We're going to have a little trip update, and we have some rare trivia, Disney trivia, some research we've done and stories we've been told along the way, and then we'll close it out with another listener spotlight.
Yes.
Okay.
Little known facts.
Yes. So, unfortunately, with us recording this, we can maybe pipe it in later, but we won't have a lot of guests for listener spotlight because of the last one that you did. And we took advantage of being here in format. So we thought we'd do another show here. We can make the magic happen later in post-production, as they say.
We got one guess.
Okay, perfect. Well,
you guessed St. Louis.
Well, I always get it
wrong.
I tried to help him out last night by saying there's an arch. There's
You were trying to get me to choose St. Louis as the listener spotlight, and you were giving me all sorts of, well, I wouldn't call them, they were facts, but they were too easy. What city has a large silver arch?
There used to be a McDonald's riverboat.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. See, I have all kinds of good stuff for you.
What city used to have a town with a McDonald's that used to serve their Happy Meals in a riverboat-shaped box?
St. Louis.
There you go.
Busch Stadium.
Sits on the Mississippi River. Yes.
Well, we went over to Universal. What? That sounds crazy. But we went to the CityWalk yesterday and kind of just explored and kind of went resort hopping, just checking out different resorts and just kind of walking around. That was a good time. And then last night we went to Sanaa over an Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Yes. So, bread service is exceptionally good.
Well, yeah, of course. So, no, it was definitely good. A little chilly. Not exactly when you think of Florida, what you're supposed to be experiencing, but I guess it's that's that time of the year where you never know what's going to happen. So if this happened in July, we got something to talk about. So
yeah.
Well, we have been doing a lot of talking on the show, and he and I have been thinking about some stuff, and we're working on something. It's a little slow to get started, but we're working on a subscription service where those who want to hear the show 2 days early, once we get more information on that, we'll get that out. But that could be something that you could. So if you need to leisure early, then you can. Actually, we both felt as though those who open their wallets for us, we wanted to give them something for giving us their hard-earned cash. So
you can listen to the Two Clowns 2 days early.
But wow, I mean, listen, fire up the clown car early.
That's right.
Well, why don't we get into the listener spotlight?
Okay.
I know that I'm the only guy who actually guessed, but give us the clues from the last time in case someone hasn't had a chance to listen to the show.
Okay, are we ready?
Ready.
All right. It has a. Oh, yes. Let me start with the one that I had. It has a significant designation to the steel industry.
Pittsburgh.
It was named for an English town.
Pittsburgh.
David Copperfield would have a love for this city in the early 20th century. Okay. And the local jail is inspiring.
Yeah, I got nothing on that.
Nothing?
No. Inspiration Hill or Inspiration Point? Inspiration.
Now, how many times have you heard we got to go down to the jail on Inspiration Point?
0.0.
Exactly.
So.
They don't build jails on Inspiration Point.
Well, look at Alcatraz. It was a
That's not inspiration.
little private island.
Well, it's always been owned by the government and was a Civil War fort before it was a prison. So,
I mean, if they would have done their cards right, they could have got rid of that prison, and they could have put a nice resort out there, like a tennis club. Or I was out there.
yeah.
I listened to, all the tape back in the day. It was a tape, cassette tape. And you walked around and they're like, oh, yeah, Al Capone was here and blah, blah, blah. So
And in this cell,
the bird,
something happened.
Birdman
Birdman of Alcatraz.
Yeah, Birdman. Yeah. Yes, that was an interesting thing. And then,
speaking of the Birdman of Alcatraz, when I was younger, the Birdman of Alcatraz, I thought that was like the coolest thing because in my mind, I'd never seen the movie or read the book. In my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, this guy built wings and flew out of Alcatraz. And then when I realized it was a guy doing bird research, although cool, I was like a little disappointed. It's like, oh, man.
well,
I thought
and
there was a better story there.
then those guys escaped and swam across.
Or did they?
Or did they?
My theory is they didn't. They escaped, clearly. And then what they did is they packed themselves into where the life preservers go on the boats that ferry people back and forth. They just hid in there and then waited for the next one. When they got across, everything died down. They hopped out and left.
Okay.
Conspiracy theorist, take that one for a ride.
Did they not die eventually?
Well, they did. I mean, it's been enough years, but they didn't die in the water. They didn't even get in the water. They got in those little compartments and.
Okay. Is that what Josh Gates told you?
No.
All right. Well, there we go. There's the inspiration point. No, inspiration.
No. Jail is inspiring.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Benz, you're not going to have any idea what this is. Do you want me to give you the?
Go ahead. Yeah.
The listener spotlight city for this episode is, in fact,
Pittsburgh.
Birmingham, Alabama.
Birmingham. Thank you, listeners from Birmingham, Alabama.
Right.
Thank you, all listeners, but especially from Birmingham, Alabama.
It was named after Burling, a town in England, Birmingham. Has a significant designation to the steel industry in the fact that in the general area there, they find you can mine iron, coal, and limestone, which is really the only place on earth that has those three in very close proximity. And those are the three things you need to make steel. David Copperfield would have loved this city in the early 20th century because back then its nickname was the Magic City.
Magic City. Magic.
And the local jail is inspiring, not because it's on Inspirational Point or Lover's Leap or anything like that. It's because Martin Luther King, which his holiday was yesterday, by the way, wrote letters from Birmingham jail while he was being incarcerated there.
Great. Here I was calling it Inspiration Point and everything else, and actually has some history to do with.
Yeah, it's got.
Well,
there we go. Thank you, listeners, especially from Birmingham.
I love when we get new places. I like when we go on the app and it shows like the last 4 places of new listeners. I love it.
We are getting lots of overseas listeners.
That's great. That's great.
Lots of them.
Either the Russians are hacking the Cycling Men of Leisure Buzzcast account.
Buzzsprout account.
Yeah. Or maybe they're actually listening.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to bet on one or the other.
Actually,
I for some reason think the Russians don't have time, or the Chinese don't have time to deal with us. No one else does.
listen to you for a while. Like,
oh, is this the best America's got? We can take them.
What's this guy doing?
Yeah.
Listener spotlight.
Oh my God, somebody give him a job and make him stop.
Well, I was going to ask you. I know it's only been like 48 hours. Any update on the job?
There's potentially an interview or two maybe coming the end of this week when I get home.
Nice. We'll hope that the Detroit snow on the ground and ice does not deter you from getting home, since you have to go through the great city of Detroit. So,
yes.
Okay. Now, one of my favorite parts.
Listener spotlight again?
No, that would be a very quick show. So, any highlights for you so far from the trip? Since we are gonna
Yes.
take
Since the last episode, we weren't able to play any more golf because of the bad weather and whatnot.
right.
You've already talked about us going down to Universal Studios and wandering around down there. No, it's just been, I think that yesterday was the first time ever that you and I have ever traveled together where we did not have something planned.
That's right.
We got up in the morning and was like, what are we doing today? I don't know. What should we do? Generally, we have things planned out and stuff. It was kind of nice. So we did a lot of leisuring yesterday. But I'm excited because we're going to the Animal Kingdom tonight. That's always a good time. And then we have to go back tomorrow.
Boom, boom, boom.
Boo. But so.
Well, yeah, we've had a good time.
Absolutely.
It's kind of fun to show you since my wife and I used to have annual passes at Universal and have lollygag. It was kind of fun to show you at least my knowledge. And then we went and explored an area that I had never been, so that was kind of cool. So, and we were able to have a chocolate old fashioned at Twosome, which is always good, and we had the chocolate bread, which
that was probably way too much chocolate in one setting, but that's okay. Somebody had to do it. We did it.
Well, yes. Today we have. I don't know. They say it's free. I don't know about the word free.
You pay for it. But.
There's a what they call Moonlight Magic for the timeshare that we both own, and we were able to secure some tickets. You have to get on the waiting list, and then it's kind of controversial. Some people wait on the list, and you only can jump on the list if you have a reservation already when you're here, and so then those people are able to get in. So at 4:00 today, we can get in for a 6-hour period of. Again, the word free is very
arbitrary.
Yeah, loose. So, so we're going to go over there and that'll be fun. And normally they give out like free Mickey bars and it'll be cold. You can sit out there and
nothing better than a Mickey Dilly bar.
There you go.
Sorry, Dairy Queen. I mixed two different companies.
But hey, they taste better when they're just handing them to you.
Oh yeah. Hey, you're not charging me $6 for it. Appreciate it.
Any specific meal that you liked? I mean, anything that jumped out while we were here? Or?
I have not been too hungry while I've been here, but you cannot beat the bread service. I mean, everybody's like it's bread, but it's like African style type breads with like 9 different like sauces you can put on them, jams, different things like that. That's always a good time. Yeah. So I think that, and it was a good steak last night there as well.
That was at Sanaa.
Sanaa.
Well, we came back through Disney Springs and had to get a Ghirardelli. Am I pronouncing that right? Ghirardelli?
I think so.
Okay.
I didn't get one. You did.
Yeah, I got the mini.
After you wore the one the night before.
Well, we didn't need to mention that.
Oh, I thought, okay. I thought we were just being transparent and honest here and having a conversation. And you had to get one the night before and you were walking and it was very cold and you were like, oh, and you were like spilling it. It was embarrassing.
I spilled a couple things on the front of my shirt. Big deal.
It's like half the container. It's horrible.
Boy, we are stretching the truth here. Let's rescind that bus driving job. Quick. No, yes. So unfortunately, we were walking, and I thought, I have to take a bite, and of course, I went down one of my nice Disney shirts, and so luckily, we have a washer and dryer here, and so I took care of it. No big deal. Life goes on. We have had to make some adjustments to the trip just because of the weather. I mean, like right now, my computer, as I look at my notes, has 56 degrees outside, and it's supposed to get real cold. So definitely some changes. I brought, I think, 4 pairs of shorts. Yeah, I wore one of them because it was not, that was about it. But why don't we get into some Disney history? And where this came from is we were lucky enough to have dinner with our friend Armando, and he gave us a few, and he always gives us a little tips and tricks and things that through his years of Disney and waters that are actually brown, but technically are cleaner and you could drink them based upon how they're chemically solved. That's just all part of the illusion and the magic. And so got us thinking, got us kind of just talking a little bit, and we were able to come up with a few, and some I knew, some I did not know, just as Franklin would say, Disney adultness. And I'll start off with the one that Armando mentioned at dinner,
Okay.
and he said how many bricks, Cinderella's castle.
Mm-hmm.
They got a restaurant there, and they got an executive room upstairs if you really want to. I guess they used to rent it out, but now they
did used to. Yeah.
But I guess now if Saudi princes probably could donate enough, and they would be able to stay there. But now I guess it's invitation only. But you always think about weather, and you think about hurricanes, and you think about wind. And he said, "How many bricks are in the castle? How many bricks actually make up the Cinderella's castle?"
You want me to guess?
Yeah.
There are exactly 4,327 bricks, but they're cinder bricks on the inside, and it's not what you see on the outside. Boom, drop the mic. I'm going to go home.
There are actually 0 bricks. It is fiberglass. It's a facade. It's all made to look that way, to withstand hurricanes and winds and all that jazz. And so that was kind of the one that we had at dinner. And credit of Armando, his history gave us that.
But I have something to add to that.
Okay.
I actually knew what the answer was. But I have something to add to that, is the fact that it is made out of fiberglass for not only that reason, but also with the way that the materials that they use, fiberglass and whatnot, they can classify that as technically, from a construction point of view from the state of Florida, is considered a temporary structure. Did you know that?
Well, you're going to kind of steal my thunder a little bit, but that's okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. I kind of did, and it's so they can skirt around some of the aviation.
That's right. It's a temporary structure, so some of the rules that would apply to a permanent structure do not apply to it. So there you go.
Always ways of getting around everything.
So. Oh, yeah. I've got one if you want to.
Yeah.
Unless you're not done.
No, please go ahead.
Okay. I got a question for you.
All right.
If you as an individual, I know you're here a lot, but if you as an individual stayed in every single room at Walt Disney World, how long would it take you to stay in every single individual room?
10 years.
To stay in every single room at Disney World, it would take you 81 years.
Wow.
That's a lot of rooms.
It's a lot of rooms.
Mm-hmm. Incredible.
Did you know that Magic Kingdom floats?
No, I didn't.
Sort of. The park sits on a massive berm with engineered drainage so effective it behaves like a raised island during storms.
So it can actually, based upon the water tables?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Your turn.
There's a lot of flags on Main Street down at Disney World. Magic Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
You seen them?
Many
just
times.
Tons of flags. Well, Disney's done another little way of skirting certain things. Most of those are, in fact, not U.S. flags. Did you know that?
I did not.
They look like U.S. flags, but they are, in fact, not U.S. flags. What they've done, if you look closely on those flags that line it, you'll notice that they may not all have 50 stars. They may not have all the exact number of stripes and all that kind of stuff. And they do it for a reason. Because the U.S. flag code requires traditionally one to be raised, lowered, flown at half staff. In the morning, you raise the flag, you take it down at night, you raise the flag, you take it down. Different times of the year, different things require flags to be flown at half staff. So basically, what they've done is they've ensured that they are not not exactly U.S. flags. So they are not required to raise them, lower them, or put them at half staff, and they are not violating U.S. flag code.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
So this is a well-known. This is not really a secret. There are tunnels at Magic Kingdom, and this is not. Now, if you don't know, I mean, I guess I shouldn't assume that, but most people know that there are tunnels. This is how staff gets around. That's why the cowboys from Tomorrowland, they never cross paths with the
They're not walking around Future World.
Yeah, like, whoa, what's going on over
my
here?
buddy Stitch.
626, baby, 626. So, but that's a number that Stitches uses. Sorry, oh my. But yes, those tunnels. My wife and we did the Keys of the Kingdom tour, and part of the tour is they take you around and they show you all kinds of things. Now, one of the things I'll give away that was really interesting to me is I think you and the family have been on Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes, many times.
And when you climb the hill and they take your picture now, and then you're about to go down the hill up into Barbossa's fight, right? Well, believe it or not, the reason why they built that was that little hill was not just for the thrill of it. Yeah, it wasn't just for the excitement. Underneath where you're going over and going down the hill, the train that goes around the park is right below you. And believe it or not, at that very moment, you go from building A, or I don't know if it's called building A. I'd be a liar. But you're going from one building to another building when you go down that hill. All of the Barbossa's fight where Jack Sparrow is, that's another building. And so they had to do that because the terrain, the castle sits basically on what is first floor, and then the basement or whatever would be actually, I guess it was on the second floor, and the basement is the first floor. And then the terrain that goes out, eventually they had to do something. And so, yes, believe it or not, Pirates of the Caribbean, you go from multiple buildings. So
my question is, why didn't they just make one big building?
Roy Disney passed many years ago, but you may be able to reach out to his granddaughters. So
I'm having a seance so I can ask Roy why they didn't just build one building. Would have made things way easier. But okay, that's fine. I can go with that. Did you know that Disney World is that is the only place next to the White House that they are actually authorized to use the official seal of the President of the United States in the Hall of Presidents?
I did not know that.
Disney can use, if you go to the Hall of Presidents, this is where they've got all these animatronic presidents, like Lincoln's up there and does his Gettysburg Address or something, whatever. They're all animatronics. Number one, if you look in the floor, they have the seal. That is the official government seal of the President of the United States. And that cannot be used anywhere else other than in the White House, except Disney has the rights to use it in that particular instance, which I thought was kind of cool. The other thing to that is if you go to the Hall of Presidents, when you're looking at Rutherford B. Hayes or Grover Cleveland, all your favorite ones, Franklin Pierce, those type of people that you really love, those presidents, all of their clothes are sewn. They work very hard to try to sew the clothes with like the types of fabrics and the types of techniques that would have been used when they were alive. The more recent presidents, a lot of presidents have donated suits and things to Disney to be used on their animatronic characters.
So, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool. Let's see here. I'm looking at my notes. Cinderella Castle. Again, we'll go back to the castle. Believe it or not, it contains a lightning arrestor disguised as a decoy, and it as a lightning protection system to actually. So if you're around the castle and the fireworks are about to start, and you're thinking to yourself, "Man, there's a storm coming in. Is this really smart to be out here?" I'm not saying it's 100% proof, but you are protected. Disney has designed it where you could be safer.
That sounds like PR to me. Everything is completely fine.
Keep paying me your money.
Yeah. Don't leave the park. There's still Mickey Dilly bars to be had.
They're not dilly bars.
But for the people, okay, you are correct. You are correct. I'm mixing Dairy Queen with Disney, and I do that for a reason, because if you've never been to Disney World and you don't know what we're talking about, chances are you probably know what a dilly bar is. So it's just a dilly bar that's shaped like Mickey in the ears. So see, I'm trying to allow people to. Not everybody's here every 3 weeks, so.
He invests too much in Berkshire Hathaway. He's trying to secretly get you to buy Dairy Queen.
That's because if some other ice cream shop would have done.
That's what I'm hearing. Buy the Dairy Queen.
I wonder if there's an alligator in that little pond out there. Let's go take a walk.
Off a short pier.
That's right. Do you know they have a special green paint they use at Disney?
I do actually know this.
Yes, it's called Go Away Green, and this is a specific shade of green paint that they use on walls and structures, and it makes them blend in with the foliage, making them disappear from guest view. And so basically they use a lot of camouflage techniques so you don't see just like, hey, here's a building. They got a bunch of trees and ferns and things growing. They paint it this green, and then it just all kind of flows together, which the Tower of Terror is painted that really weird kind of
pinkish
red sandstone color, and doesn't really kind of like give you the idea that it's a hotel. It's at Hollywood Studios, by the way. You know why it's painted that color?
To blend in so you don't see it as much.
Sort of. Because if you're over at Epcot, the Moroccan area, you can see the Tower of Terror. And so they colored the Tower of Terror the same color as the buildings, the Moroccan village. So when you're there looking, you don't see this big concrete Tower of Terror. You see something that blends in and it just looks like another building down the road or whatever.
That's cool.
Yeah. What else you got?
I'm going to move to Epcot. I had a couple of Magic Kingdom things, but in essence of time, we'll go on to Epcot. So Epcot was originally thought about as Walt's special thing, an experimental prototype community of tomorrow. And in his original plan, they have found resources that he actually banned retirees. He did not want in this experimental area to have people who retired to move there. It wasn't like he feared stagnation and mandated a rotating population. Again, it didn't work out because he succumbed to his cancer from smoking, and Disney held the plans for Epcot until 1982 and opened it up under a completely different idea
Concept.
But yes, that was part of his original plan. I thought I would share that with you.
Yeah, it was going to be like this innovative city and things, which is what that whole Spirit thing was for. But that doesn't pay the bills. All right. Did you know? Believe it or not, I was going to ask. Believe it or not, Mickey has more outfits than Minnie, which doesn't really happen in the real world very often.
I believe that.
Yeah. Mickey Mouse has around 136 different costumes.
I believe
that's a lot of outfits.
Well, yeah, I've seen the Fantasmic. There's 4 in that one by itself. So
that's a cartoon.
No. Oh no, the Fantasmic is a nighttime
the
show.
Yes. Wasn't Phantasm the actual cartoon?
Fantasia.
That's it. Yeah.
Spaceship Earth actually rests on a tabletop foundation. The sphere, big ball that you just mentioned at Epcot, doesn't actually bear all its weight. Support legs do. So kind of interesting.
Doesn't bear all of its weight?
Yeah, the sphere doesn't actually, but there's very supportive.
That's why those triangular things are on the side. Well, speaking of Epcot, did you know Epcot is the only park in Disney World that has 2 main entrances?
I did.
Yeah. If you go to any of the other parks, Animal Kingdom, Magic Kingdom, all that kind of stuff, you enter one main area is the only way you can get in. In Epcot, you can enter through a front main gate, or they have another main gate that comes off of Boardwalk and the Skyliner. So
That's correct.
Mhm.
I knew that one. Did you know that in Epcot, they specifically made the streets uncomfortable to walk on? Now, I know that sounds crazy, but what they did is they were concerned about the way that they had the park built and the ideas and the plans, but they wanted to make uneven stones to actually slow walking speed, and also to increase pavilion dwell time. So here you're walking, your feet are a little uncomfortable, and you get to the like German pavilion, you're like, oh, I'll rest more, and it gets you to stay at the pavilion longer.
I need a German Mickey Dilly bar.
Good luck to you, buddy.
Oh, here's one. Main Street, USA. You've been there. Actually, let's step back. Let's not go to Main Street. Let's go to Liberty Square. And Liberty Square, for the people that don't know, Liberty Square is the square that looks like a 1700s, 1800s colonial village. And they've tried to make it like really historically accurate. It kind of looks like something you'd see at, I don't know, someplace back east, colonial type of village. Well, what's interesting is there are no bathrooms in Liberty Square because at the time that they're depicting Liberty Square, there would not have been public bathrooms.
That's why everyone just goes and
that's why there's an outhouse around the back of the. No, I'm kidding. The outhouse is out around back behind the gift shop. No, there's no bathrooms in Liberty Square. And if anybody knows Disney, they're going, wait a minute. I have been to the gift shop and there's a bathroom in the back of the gift shop. Here's how they get around it. The back half of that gift shop is actually in a different land. So they're not in Liberty Square.
There we go.
Mm-hmm. They're tricky here. They are very tricky. Anything else?
Going back to the Pirates of the Caribbean, the water, and this is in honor of Armando, is chemically aged. It's tinted and treated to maintain a blackish look.
Why do they want it blackish?
Because it's Pirates of the Caribbean. They don't want like clear, like blue, like, oh, look, everything's peaceful.
Well, yeah. Have you ever been to the Caribbean? It's nice and clear and good looking water.
Not when it's dark and dingy and fiery and going, yo ho, a pirate's life for me.
Can we drink it? Is it safe to drink?
You better ask Armando that.
Tip in my cup. Oh, that's interesting. I will give Disney this. They are very environmentally conscious. And so I think that's good. I had one more that was a really good one, but I don't know what that was now.
Well, while you're thinking about that, I found this very interesting by doing some research, and I've been there many times. There are ride vehicles that are not perfectly level on purpose. So you think, you buy a boat, or like you have a camper, and I imagine that you spend some time while at camp leveling it out, so when you're making the eggs.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're like leaning like this the whole time, or you're rolling out of bed one way. It doesn't work.
So what Disney did is they specifically, like, they were afraid of ride breakdown, and so to obscure or maybe curve standing when the ride breaks down, they purposely have it unlevel so it's uncomfortable to stand up. And I thought that was actually interesting.
Wow, they've thought of everything. Interesting. You've been on the Walt Disney Railroad train that goes around Magic Kingdom, right?
I have.
Yeah. It's a pretty good standard. Did you realize that that is actually pulled by a steam engine?
I did, yes.
And they have actually in their fleet, they have 4 steam-powered trains that were originally built between 1916 and 1928. So that means that you might be on being pulled by a steam-powered engine that's actually 100 years old or more. How cool is that?
Actually, if you really enjoy some of Disney history, you can go. Disney Channel, Disney Plus has them reconditioning or remaking or reconditioning the engines, and how Walt used to love. He absolutely demanded that the engines had to be real, and that's why when they built Tron, they had to raise Tron up and make a tunnel for the track. It's because that they took all that time to redo the engines, and so The train was closed for a long time, but it's back now. So
Interesting.
there are ride blueprints that Disney refuses to digitize. Why would you think that is?
So people couldn't copy them?
Some remain paper only for intellectual property protection concerns of being able to copy them out. And so,
because let me tell you, I'm just sitting around waiting for those big thunder plans to come out so I can build one in my backyard.
that's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
Very interesting. Speaking of factual, Disneyland out in California, back in the day, they had 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And Walt was very, very pleased with the fact that at one point he had the largest submarine fleet in the world. Now, I mean, it only went around the little circle, but technically they were in fact operational submarines.
Right.
And he had the largest fleet in the world for a while.
And unfortunately, they got rid of it in Florida. So,
yeah, it was a great ride.
Believe it or not, in Walt Disney World is so big that there are undeveloped resort pads with utilities ready. Roads, plumbing, power exist for hotels, never announced. And that's why when all of a sudden you get the marketing material in your mail, they've already been thinking many years in advance. So,
Interesting. I think that's all the good ones I have. I have a lot of other ones, but they're not like, super awesome.
The room numbering avoids unlucky sequences. Entire number blocks are skipped quietly on purpose. So
there's no room 13s?
I don't think so.
Okay.
At Disney World, because the trees are so important, they are actually insured. Every tree at Disney World is insured with replacement values. And so that's why when they have hurricanes, they can actually get the trees replaced. And when you come back 2 weeks later and you have no idea, but they have new trees automatically.
Why would you have to insure them? I mean, you could, I get it, but you could just, have a bunch of growing out here in the many thousands of acres you don't have developed and just take one out and put it back. Seems like a kind of an unnecessary cost, but.
Disney has its own soil lab used to test plant compatibility and drainage. And I think most people know this, but Walt never saw Magic Kingdom completed. And even the design choices past 1966 were interpretive. I mean, they weren't actually his ideas, but of course we all say Walt Disney World.
I've got one.
Okay.
I just came up with a note. Did you know that the monorail used to be the fastest ride at Disney?
I think that's since moved on, huh?
Well, probably later than you'd think. It then dropped once they brought in the test track.
Yeah.
But it took up to the test track for it to be ousted as the fastest.
Huh. Interesting. Couple things here that I thought was kind of interesting. Disney World has its full disaster recovery plan for hurricanes and space debris. And then because of the proximity to Cape Canaveral, it actually requires it due to the population that's here. So,
Disney World itself is in fact a city of its own, and it does its own power and its own lights and its own police force and all that kind of stuff, and has to have its own stuff because it's a municipal entity. I did not know about the space thing, but that makes sense because Cape Canaveral is just 50 miles down the road.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
And the only other one that was kind of interesting is it's ironic that if you bear with me, Disneyland, the airport code is LA, and then LA and LA fits in land, and then Orlando, ORL, is Orlando for Disney World. Kind of interesting. So, and then actually I'll finish with this because this was actually something that was part of the Keys to the Kingdom tour. When Walt was coming here to Disney World, and the idea was to grow another amusement park, he was so afraid that people would compete with him and he would have to, buy the property. And he was afraid of, the secret getting out. And so he didn't actually use Disney World as the project, even though they knew they were going to call it Disney World with all these other lands and worlds and everything. He called it the Florida Project. And then he would never, as you mentioned, he would never get off the plane for a while. He would land here, he would fly in, and then they would have meetings on the plane or sneak him out of the back of the plane because he was afraid of being seen here. And then the property value was going up as they were gobbling up all the property here.
Disney's here. My price for my land just went up $1 million.
Exactly. Well, we just figured since we were here and there's all kinds of stuff that you hear at this very large, facility, 26,000 acres. What's next for us? Where are you? You're on the hunt for a job.
Yep.
Anything you're excited about besides job coming up?
No, I just really want to get back into work because, that kind of just throws your life all over the place. Just really want to get a job, get back into work, and then my life can get back on track and I can figure out what I'm doing, what we're doing, all that kind of stuff. But it'll get there.
I'm going through a remodel in my studio, so might look a little different for those of you who watch on YouTube. My
getting rid of your whiskey collection.
So close. Not going to happen there.
Okay.
It's going to look a little different. So we'll leave that for a little surprise. So just for those who like to watch us on YouTube, or I got it all broke down. And so, matter of fact, I had to move stuff to my basement. And then because of the whiskey, when you have that many, you got to grab like 6 of them in a box. And then the boxes are like lining the outside of my bedroom. My wife's like, "You have a problem." And I'm like, "No, I don't have a problem." And so, but yes, that's what I'm coming up against. And then of course, as I probably have mentioned on this show, but also with you, and I've also got conference season coming up. So I'll be traveling a lot for work. So, but that's okay. I'll still be working on the project. I'm excited about it. Got it all in my head. And so
I see. So I redid my studio. So now you have to redo yours.
Well, actually, now hold on a second. You were a little bit of inspiration. Sure. I won't deny that. But also, I was a photographer for 20 years. And then that room has been the same. And it's always, I actually did a lot of research back in the day when I was actually processing and editing photos, that a good color on your eyes that would allow you to focus on the pictures. And they had recommended this Pantone of gray. And so that way, it's like, gray is the absence of color when you do photography. And so, you use that to actually measure. I'm sure you know this, but I mean, those of you who are not in photography, use gray to sometimes measure your black and whites because, believe it or not, as funny as it sounds, the camera can't see black or white. It can't focus on, like when you shoot a bride. I always had to focus on their face because the camera, if I put it on their dress, would just go, whoa, the automatic focusing would just go nuts. And so you'd have to like focus on their face and hold the trigger down, blah, blah, blah. And so I actually painted my office this gray color. That's what you see in the background. And it's been that way for 20 years. So the rest of my house, I've mentioned on this show, we've done. And so it was time for that. And so what better way of being in our 5-year anniversary of the show? I said, you know what? I'll kind of mix in some technology and with redoing it. And so that's part of the plan. So we'll give a little play-by-play as we move forward. But I figured I would just mention that. We are working on something about the subscription service. So let us get that kind of polished up where we really jacked everything up. And so we'll get that straightened out.
And we also have some other new things that we're doing. It's going to be exciting. I suspect in the next couple episodes, you'll we're not changing anything. We're not making anything drastically better. Okay, I'll just make the announcement. I'm getting a new co-host, but no, I'm kidding.
Well, look at that. The golf course looks like there's people out there. I will see you later.
No, we are doing some things that's going to make it a little bit sound a little bit different, better, hope. You'll hear probably in the next couple of episodes. So be looking for that.
No, it'll be good. I'm excited about that. I think we should finish it up with Listener Spotlight.
Got it written down here, and I had to do it this covertly so Adam wouldn't cheat, but I don't think he has any idea. All right, this town permanently settled in the 1600s. There has been 5 flags that have flown over this city. It's named for a native people who lived in the region. The city likes wings. The city likes wings. And here's a good one for you. The story of Ron Burgundy would not be the same without an influence from this city. What do you think?
Detroit.
Wow. Adam only knows 2 cities in the entire United States. That is St. Louis and Detroit.
My guess is Detroit.
Okay, guess all you. Why Detroit? What in there would say Detroit?
Read it again.
All of them? Permanently settled in the 1600s. 5 flags have flown over it. This city likes wings. Named for a native people who lived in the region. And the story of Ron Burgundy would not be the same without an influence from this city.
I was just mentioning like the Detroit Red Wings. I thought maybe that was kind of like a.
Well, you know, all of the clues have to match. You can't just pick one and go, that's it. You got to make the other ones match too.
Detroit, 1701. Okay. Well,
He's actually looking it up. Well,
look at that. Fort Pontchartrain. Yep, I'm sticking with Detroit. Thank you. Mic drop. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, thank you for following along with our shenanigans. And I'm sure it's a good day for a bike ride here, but somehow, it's a great day also for some leisure. Have a great day.